Good morning, everybody. Good morning, please. I'm 4 minutes late already. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. With a nice big smile, we start our class. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. See, I cannot see your comments right away, so I don't know who all have joined. So that's why I'm not taking anybody's name. So, uh, if you want to talk to me, you'll have to use my phone, okay? WhatsApp me. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, join please. Okay. In my last classes so far, I have been teaching you one important topic called transportation. Now, in transportation, we are given an issue wherein we take we have four warehouses, for example, and from the warehouses, we have to take the goods to some manufacturing facility or some wholesaler or retailer. So, say from four different places to four different places, or three different places to four different places, we have to transport. Please remember that this transportation is external to the company. We have not talked about any issues within the factory. I will mention factory as a facility. Alright, I will not use the word factory, I will use the word facility. And I may use the word as service facility or manufacturing facility. Alright, so what happens is, so far we have done transportation external to the factory. Like, for example, the company has storage houses, and from the storage houses, you have to send finished goods to the retailers. Or maybe the company has bought, procured some raw materials or components from four different vendors, and from the vendors, they have to transport it to some manufacturing facility. So, all these transportation that we talked about was outside the factory. There was nothing that concerned within the factory. There was nothing concerning the production processes or within the factory. Then, in the transportation, I talked to you about various methods. The first method, let us do a small little revision till other people join. The first method, and you require also, because 1 week I've not been able to meet you. All right. Hope you missed me. Okay. So, what happens is in transportation, we did the following methods. The first method was north-west corner rule. In the northwest corner rule, for us, north means upper and west means left side. So, in the northwest corner rule, we start allocating the units from the supply to the requirement to the upper left corner of the cell. Okay, north means upper, left, west means left. So, from the upper left corner, when we finished, when we finished, we just saw that some row or some column was eliminated. So we redid the matrix and we find that we got a new upper left corner. So we started allocating to the new upper left corner. Again, we find that we find new upper left corner because some row, some column gets eliminated. So always in this method, in the northwest corner rule, check your book if you want, check your notes. We always allocate it to the upper left corner. Then we came to the another method. It was called row minima method. Minimum in the row or the least cost in the row was given the allocation. We took the first row, we found the least cost, the smallest value in the cost, and we allocated there. Once we allocated there, if there was still supply left, we allocated to the next least cost in the uppermost row. Once the uppermost row got eliminated because the supply, we finished the supply. If the requirement supports the supply, we finish the supply. So the row got eliminated. We came to the next row and found the least cost in the next row. All right. So we went on like that, and from the top row, the least cost in the row we allocated for the row minima method. Then we came to the column minima method. In that we took the first column and saw the least cost in that column and we allocated there. Once I'm in class with you, I'll talk to you later. So what happens is we went to the column minima method. In the first column, we took the least cost and we allocated to the least cost in the first column. Once that column got exhausted, the requirement got exhausted and the column got eliminated, we got the next column, and in the next column the least cost till all the allocations were complete. Okay, now we came to the least cost method. In the least cost method, what happens is we took in the entire matrix the least cost in the entire matrix and we allocated it. All right. And then once we allocated, we saw the next least cost and allocated. Now, another thing that we have to do is uh, we have to see, we have to find the next was Virgil's approximation method. In the Virgil's approximation method, we found the row penalty and the column penalty. Row penalty means in the entire row we saw the least cost. Then we saw the next higher least cost. Suppose least cost was 5 and the next higher was 6 and there were 7 and 8. Then we saw the difference between 5 and 6. The least was 5, the next least was 6. The 5 minus 6 is 1. We ignored the signs and we put the row penalty as 1. Now suppose we had 5, 8, 9 and 10 in the row. We had the costs as 5, 8, 9 and 10. 5 is the lowest, next lowest was 8. So 5 minus 8 was 3 and 3 was the row penalty for us irrespective of the negative sign. So we did the row penalty and similarly we did the column penalty and we checked for the highest penalty. The highest, we suppose the row penalty of 3 was the highest penalty. In that row, we saw all the cost and we allocated to the least cost in that row. Suppose a column penalty was highest. We saw all the least cost in the column penalty and we allocated to the least number in the column, okay, with the highest penalty. This was the Virgil's method. Now we have actually I wanted to do assignment today, but I will tell you two more problems that you will face. I think what I'll do is I will not leave this. Please make a note. They are called unbalanced problems. Make a note. They are called unbalanced problems. Now, when see, since we have third semester exam and I have to revise when you do the revision. There is nothing much great about it, but it is called unbalanced problems. Unbalanced problems means, see, you have seen supply and you have seen requirement. Supply is always equal to the requirement so far. whatever problems I have given you, we have made sure that supply is equal to the requirement. Okay, the total of requirement is equal to total of supply. So when the total of requirement is equal to the total of supply, we call it a balanced problem. So far we have been doing balanced problems. Now there are two types of unbalanced problems that you need to do. The first one is when the supply is greater than the requirement. Suppose the supply is 300 and the requirement is 250. Then what we have to do is we have to put one dummy row. Alright? Dummy row. And when the requirement, don't bother now, you have to put a dummy row or a dummy column. Just remember that the requirement is not equal to the supply. That time either supply is greater than the requirement or the requirement is greater than the supply. So for both this thing we have to put one dummy row and a dummy column. Okay, and we have to, dummy means empty column for each, or empty row. Each of these we give the cost as 0. So when you allocate, 0 is the least, no? There is no higher than, everything is higher than 0. You cannot have negative cost. You can have 0 or any positive cost. So when you allocate all the extra units. That is, you may see, if there was, supply was 300 and requirement was 250, you have a difference of 50. So the requirement for that column, imagine, or row is 50, and each of these rows, each of the cells in that row, dummy row or dummy column, have a cost of 0. Okay, so since 0b is the least cost, we allocate all the extra units, that is, that we did to match requirement to supply, we allocate at once to any cell in that row or that column. So in the first allocation, we allocate always to the dummy row or dummy column, because all the cells in the dummy row or dummy column have 0 cost. So that being the least cost, you have to allocate. So the whole dummy row and dummy column gets eliminated in the first allocation itself. So the rest of the problem you'll do exactly like how you do for other problems. All right. I will not go to do it. I want to do another chapter called assignment today. All right. When I do revision, I have to do every problem again, and that time I will do the unbalanced problems also. Now today we are going to do. Okay. Now today we are going to do a new chapter called assignment. Okay, assignment happens within the factory. See, transportation happened outside the factory, assignment happens within the factory. How? See, in the factory there are many resources, like there are machines, there are men, there are and there are jobs to do, there are tools, etc., etc. Imagine in a factory there are 4 machines and 4 workers. Then you have to give each worker one machine to work on. You cannot keep a worker idle, neither can you keep a machine idle, because both cost money. Okay, so now today our problems are basically with assignment of jobs to workers or machines to workers, like that. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to draw a matrix first. Write down assignment problems. Everyone write assignment problems. All right, assignment problems. Now what you have to do is we are going to do workers to jobs. Okay, workers to jobs. So the first column you write workers, and you rule workers. Okay, we will have 4 workers and 4 jobs. Okay, so the next thing you have to do is next columns are 4 more columns, and each one is called job 1, job 2, job 3, job 4. So the first column is workers. So you have, say, in this problem you have 5 columns. 5 columns. The first one is workers. The next columns are job 1, job 2, job 3 and job 4. Okay. Now, 4 jobs and we'll give 4 workers. So, 4 more rows. In that, the first one is workman 1. Next, workman 2. Next, I'll put it as W1, W3, W4. Okay. So, okay. Once you do this, we will fill in the numbers in the cells. Now, in the transportation problem, we called it C because it was the cost. Here, they don't say anything, but I'd like to call it T, but it's not necessary to call it anything. See, now this is my problem. Okay. Now, I will give numbers inside the cells, and these numbers are not cost, they are the time required. Okay. So, in the previous transportation, we used to calculate transportation cost. Here, we will calculate the number of minutes required for completing the entire jobs. So, to complete all the 4 jobs by all the 4 workmen, how much time is required is our final answer. Okay. Now here in this what I'm putting is I'm putting some numbers. Say I'll put some numbers. In the first column you write 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Next column we'll put 12, 13, 14 and 16. Next we will put 8, 7, 6 and 5. Okay. Now next we will put next we'll put 9, 10, 8 and 7. Now our problem is ready. You have to write, once you write this problem, you have to write solve the following assignment problem. Please write solve the following assignment problem by the Hungarian method. Hungary, Hungarian. Yes, it's a country, Hungarian method. Okay, solve the following problem by the Hungarian assignment problem by the Hungarian method. Now see class, this is very easy. Okay, All you have to do is, don't be worried. This is much easier than transportation. The difficult part comes a little later, okay? But it's okay. When you and I are there, why should we worry? Anything is easy when my students and your teacher is there, okay? So here we are. Our idea is to give one job to one worker. Which worker? See, this is the you see these workers are there. These are workers, and these are the jobs. One of these jobs, one, two, three, four, should go to one worker. Okay, that is the solution. How to make the solution is when each of these numbers, okay, when these numbers, this time, they should become zero. Okay, when you get a zero in a cell, then you can allocate that to one worker. Understood? Our idea is to get zeros in the cell. So when you get zeros in the cell, you can allocate it to one worker. Is that clear? Okay. Okay. So what we do is, for the method is like this. You take the first is called, you write down row deduction. Write down first step, row deduction. Okay. Now, in order not to confuse you, we will have to rule another matrix. Please rule another matrix. Rule the first column and then 4 more columns. Total 5 columns. In this problem, you'll have to keep on ruling because it's better. Otherwise, it'll be confusion. For the jobs, I will write J1, J2, J3 and J4. And for the workmen, I'll put W1, W2, W3 and W4. So this is our second matrix. Okay. So you have to write it as row deduction. Take time and write, it's worth it. Okay, so my second matrix is ready. So my second matrix is ready. Now, look at the first matrix. In row deduction, what you have to do is, you must take the least cost. Now look here, which is the least cost here? This is 9, 12, 8 and 9. The least is 8. So all the numbers you have to minus from this number. Now 9 will become 9 minus 8 is equal to 1. 12 will become 12 minus 8 is equal to 4. 8 will become 8 minus 8 is equal to 0. 9 will become 9 minus 8 is equal to 1. So I am filling my first row. 9 minus 8 is 1. 12 minus 8 is 4. 8 minus 8 is 0. 9 minus 8 is 1. See, I got 1 0. So I can say I can allocate W1 to job 3 to the first worker. But don't do it because there will be confusion. There will be more than 1 0. Some will not have 0, etc. So we cannot do it now. Wait patiently. We will finish. Now I hope you understood. I got 1 because there was 9 here. The least was 8. So I got a 0 here. 8 minus 8. This was 9 minus 8 is equal to 1. This is 12 minus 8 is equal to 4. Here it is 9 minus 8 is equal to 1. So our first row is over. Now we'll look at the second row. In the second row, the least is 7. So 10 minus 7 is equal to 3. 13 minus 7 is equal to 6. 7 minus 7 is equal to 0. 10 minus 7 is equal to 3. So I am writing here 10 minus 7 is equal to 3. 13 minus 7 is 6. 7 minus 7 is equal to 0. 10 minus 7 is equal to 3. Now look here, we got worker 1 can be given job 3. But we also have worker 2 also can be given job 3. What to do? So that is why do not allot, wait patiently. Okay. Next the least one is 6. So 11 minus 6. See here. In this, the least one is 6. So 11 minus 6 is 5. Sorry, 14 minus 6 is 8. 6 minus 6 is 0. 8 minus 6 is 2. So let us do this. 11 minus 6 is 5. 14 minus 6 is 8. 6 minus 6 is 0. 8 minus 6 is 2. Oh, we have got all zeros in one row only. I should have been careful while making the problem. We'll see what happens. Okay, now we come to the last one. In the last one, 5. You'll notice that in column 3 only I have given all small numbers. It was unintentional. We just made an imaginary problem. Okay. Now the last problem you have is 5. So 12 minus 5 is 7. 16 minus 5 is 11. 5 minus 5 is 0. 7 minus 5 is 2. So I am writing here 12 minus 5 is 7. 16 minus 5 is 11. 5 minus 5 is 0. 7 minus 5 is 2. So my next matrix is like this. My second matrix is this one. You will find that all the workers, only zeros are here. So the allocation can be only job 3 to all the workers. So we cannot do allocation now. No other jobs have got any zeros. Our intention, I told you, is to find zeros in this thing and then allocate. So ready, naturally, I have to do, 1 minute. Sorry, my scale fell down. So I have to do another matrix. Rule for the third matrix class. Rule for the third matrix. Same, W1, W2, W4 and jobs 4. So J1, J2, J3 and J4. And workers are W1 to W4. So you have W1, W2, the rows are W2, W3 and W4. So my third matrix is ready. All right. Already. Now call it column reduction. Call it column reduction. Now in column reduction, we have to do the same thing. All right. But we have to do it column wise. Just now we did row wise, no? Now we'll do the column wise. Already. Now see, in the first column we have 1, 3, 5 and 7. 1 is the lowest. So 1 minus 1, 0. 3 minus 1, 2. 5 minus 1, 4. 7 minus 1, 6. So in the first column we get 1 minus 1, 0. 3 minus 1, 2. 5 minus 1, 4. 7 minus 1, 6. So my first column is like this. You will realize that there is one more 0 we got. With every 0 we say hooray. Because we are going towards the end of the problem. Okay? Okay, next one. Now let's look at the next column. We have 4, 6, 8 and 11. So 4 is the least. 4 minus 4 will get 0. 6 minus 4 is 2. 8 minus 4 is 4. 11 minus 4 is 7. So in my next column it will be 0, 2, 4 and 7. We got one more 0, see. But that is all for W1 only. We cannot allocate, see. All these are coming for W1 only. What about W2, W3, W4, isn't it? Okay. Now, next one is all zeros. And what to do? 0 minus 0 is 0 only, right? So, we'll put all the 4 zeros. Ready? Okay. Now the last one. You have 1, 3, 2 and 2. So 1 being the least, you'll get 1 minus 1 is 0. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So last column, 1 minus 1 is 0. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. So our third matrix looks like this. Okay. See, what we have to do is, when you cannot allocate, no? See, for worker 1, you can get any 4. For worker 2, it is job 3. If we give so for worker 1, I can give 1 job, 2 job, 3 or 4. Then we'll come to W2. W2, you can give only 2, this job 3. Same thing for W worker 3. There is no other 0 except this. Same thing for worker 4. No other 0 except that. So what to do? We cannot allocate. So that is why we go again, we see if we can do again row deduction. If in the row there is already a 0, you cannot make any difference with the row deduction. Look at this. The first row is all zeros. It makes no difference. Second row also has a 0. So 2 minus 0 will be 2. 2 minus 0 will be 2. 0 minus 0. 2 minus 0 will be 2. No point in doing row deduction. Same thing with the third row and the fourth row. Now we can't do any more row deduction, neither can we do column deduction. Even in every column there is a 0. This first row there are zeros. Second row there is a 0. Third row there is a 0. Fourth row there is a 0. So column row deduction is impossible now. It makes no difference only. Now let's look at the column deduction. There is first column there's a 0. Second column there's a 0. Third column there's a 0. Fourth column there's a 0. Oh my god, what to do? But allocation has to be done. You should have 1 0 for every worker, isn't it? So now we have to do something called connecting lines. Okay, write down connecting lines. Write down connecting lines. Finished? Now in connecting lines, what you have to do is, you must join lines and connect all your zeros with a minimum of lines. You must connect all your zeros with a minimum of lines. Now look at this. Already write down connecting lines. Now look here. In the first column, I have only 1 0. Second column, I have only 1 0. And third column, I have so many zeros. So I will join first of all the third column. I'll just draw a line. See, I have joined by all the zeros by drawing a line. Draw. All of you draw a line. Minimum number of lines you have to draw. Now, I have zeros, fortunately, only in the first column, first row. Believe me, this was not planned, but it came beautifully. So, I'm going to join all the zeros in the first row. Make sure all your zeros are covered. Now, with just 2 lines, I have covered all the zeros. See, no zero is left uncovered. All got it? Join all the zeros by a minimum number of connecting lines. All ready? Now, you look at your matrix. There are 3 kinds of numbers. Some numbers are not touched. We call them uncovered numbers. Write down, there are 3 kinds